Hi, everyone. Rainey Bastarash here with the American School of Hypnosis, and we are live on YouTube. And today, I wanted to speak to you folks about how do you handle rapid fire negativity in life. What I mean by that is, have you ever had one of those days where things just don't seem to be going your way? You might get up in the morning and you spill your coffee all over your notes. Then you get in the car and you're out of gas. And you back out to the street and somebody toots at you because you didn't back out properly, you didn't clear good enough. Then you go to then you go check your snail mail and you got something in the mail that you really don't want to have. It might be an unexpected bill or whatever it might be. How do you deal with these things? One thing after another, after another, after another, other than pulling your hair out and getting gray. Actually, this is silver. And that's today's topic. And as people come in, I'd like to hear how you deal with things. And we have a few things I want to discuss and a few ways to deal with it that we'll talk about. So let's get started. Let's see. I know we're going to probably have difficulty having people coming in this morning because I set up to go on YouTube on one page and it froze, and that's the one you were all sent. So then we came on again a second time. So people are busy trying to find out, where is he? It says he's here, and now it says he's there. So you're kind of going all over the place. So what do you do to deal with this rapid fire negativity? Okay. One of the things you can do, again, keep in mind that this kind of negativity causes stress. Stress has a lot of things that can happen, as a result of stress. You get fear comes from it. You can get sick over it. It causes depression. It causes pain. There's so many different things it can cause. So you want to try to deal with this as early as you can. So one of the ways to deal with it, especially before the fear sets through, is to work it out. Think about it. Okay, you get something in the mail. Let's say you get an unexpected bill. Just recently, I got one just a few days ago for a little over $5,000 for a CAT scan. I go, oh, okay. Now, whatever it is, think about it, work it through. Well, guess what? You can make a monthly payment, or you can pay it off at once, or you can call them. Years ago, I got a bill for $150 for one antibiotic pill that I got in the emergency room. One antibiotic pill, $150. I worked it through. I called the hospital, said, hey, why would a pill cost $150? I know someone who works in the pharmaceutical industry. When I mentioned this pill to them, they said, it costs about $4 to make. That's a nice markup, okay? So they said, we'll be right back. And then she come back, she goes, we're going to drop that to $50 just for calling them. It went from $150 to $50. Wow. So what was my thought? I'm going to go ahead and call them again. If I keep on calling enough times, maybe they'll owe me money. So it didn't work that way, though. So anyways, work it through. Sometimes you're going to find the problem isn't that bad. Maybe you had an appointment canceled, something that you were going to be making money at, and it canceled. And you said, oh, gosh. But by working it through, you might find an alternative. You might find that not only was it not a bad situation, but now you have free time to do something else that was important to you. So like I said, working it through can be a very good alternative to getting stressed or becoming afraid. Because what is fear? I love the acronym FEAR, false evidence appearing real. There's a lot of different ones, but that's one of my favorite ones. Fear, basically, it's not really there. It's like all these things that you're thinking of that could happen. Oh no, appointment canceled. Oh, I hope I'm not in trouble. I hope I can fill it up. I hope I don't lose this or that doesn't happen. All these things of what in the future you're worried about something like that. It's kind of like, you ever watch those spooky movies where somebody looks outside their window, they're in the country, they look at the cornfield, and right on the edge of the cornfield, they see somebody with a pitchfork, like a scarecrow with a pitchfork, looking at them. And they look again and there's nothing there, okay? It kind of reminds me of that. It's like, oh, you're all scared, but there's really nothing to be afraid of. And let's see, what's another one? So number one, you want to eliminate the fear, work it through, okay? The fear of the unknown, because working it through, it's going to help it to become more known. Something you don't understand, look into it. You get a letter from someone that looks really official, you look at, you read through it and, oh, that's nothing. Just the other day, we got one from the car, okay, about my nice Honda Pilot, and it was like, you this and you that and da-da-da-da-da. And I read through it, and it was one of those advertisements where they're trying to sell you something, but they do it by trying to scare you because you're not updated on this. It's like a generic thing. They didn't even have my name. But see, the fear of the unknown, immediately it looked official. They put it in one of these envelopes that looks like it's from, some kind of official lawyer type thing. And you look at it, and it's a bunch of baloney. Okay. I get that with my web page and emails. Your domain is going this way and that way, and you have to call us, and it's going to be $80 for this and that. And it's not even something that's required. It's just somebody that wants you to register it with their company, leading you to believe that it needs to happen. Okay. So get rid of that fear. The next one, Raluca was talking, we were discussing this morning when we were going for, here's my next commercial, Dunkin' Donuts, okay? And in the car, we're talking about this, and she says, think about all the major things that bothered you last year, the major, whether it be rapid fire or just the problems that you handle. What was the top problem on your list? I couldn't think of one. She goes, isn't it funny how they were so important back then? They drove you. They might have even made you stressed out, depressed, sick, or whatever. But this year, you can't even remember them. Actually, I came up with one thing. She goes, Rainey, that was 3 years ago. It was a major business problem we had with Yahoo. I said, how about Yahoo? She goes, that was like 3 years ago. I was like, oops, okay. Time flies when you're having fun. But think of it. What was one of the major things that happened to you last year that caused a lot of stress or a lot of problems that you're worried about? You probably don't even remember it. It's funny how if you make a list of all the things that are bothering you, like all the rapid fire negative things that are happening today or this week or this month, the major one on that list, the number one, you think nothing could be worse than that, but as soon as that one's gone, the next one moves up and takes its place. Now, the top one might have been really bad, and the number two was like, that's okay. But it's funny, when the top one is gone and number two moves up, it seems to move to be just as bad. You might have something that's very simple. When that one moves up to the top list, it's just as bad because you have nothing else going on. So that's the thing that's happening now. Okay, so it kind of moves up the list and causes all that stress and fear and being downness. I don't like to say depression because I know that's clinical, but we'll call it downness. Okay. So we want to be careful of that. Now, how can you stop a lot of that? Another way is to bring yourself to the present. Right now, you listening to me watching you, this is the best that life has to get at this moment, and it's okay. Right now, no one's repossessing your car or kicking you out of your house or ripping down your billboards or whatever. Whatever the problem is, right now, everything's okay. Even if you get an email that's really negative, right now you're doing fine. Okay, so think of it. Right now, everything's okay. So bringing yourself just to the now will tend to eliminate a lot of these problems for you. Let's see, I've got a list. If you see me looking around, I'm trying to find a list because I thought of this before I was coming on. I thought of a couple of them. I said, there's a lot more of them, and these might be ones that will help me, but I want to find out, come up with enough things that could probably help you in your specific situation right now. And hopefully some people will come on and let me know what they're thinking. I'm hoping the chat here is working. Matter of fact, Raluca is watching me on another computer. So Raluca, go ahead and say, hi, Rainey, just so I know it's working. She did have a hello here, but that might have been before we started. So when you come on, go ahead and tell me what you think, what you do. Oh, yes, it's working just fine. And even after this video is over, leave your comments below this video of things that you think can help others, because that's the reason we're here. That's the reason we do these videos, is not only do we run into things, yes, I have rapid fire things that happen to me, but we want to help you to be able to deal with the things as they come up so your life can be a little happier. So, okay, another one. Oh, here's one. You can see Raluca is the level-headed person in this relationship because she is always saying this to me. What do you want? Okay, so when something negative is happening, instead of dwelling and focusing on the negativity, what is it that you do want? How would you like things to be? How should they be? So say that to yourself when things, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that. What do you want? How should they be? Because whatever you focus on, you attract. Not so much what you say, but what you focus on. Because you could say something and be focusing just the opposite. For instance, I always tell you how the subconscious mind doesn't understand negativity. When you say, I don't want to have that problem, you're focusing on that problem. So you're attracting exactly what you don't want. Okay. So what do you want? Now, another thing that's important is when people are having these rapid fire negative things happening, one after the other, a lot of times they'll hold it in, especially if you're by yourself. I'm lucky I have someone to speak to, but they'll hold it in, they'll bottle it up, and it'll eventually make them sick. When you bottle things up, a lot of physical problems, you can become sick physically as well as emotionally. So it's important to find ways to let it out. Here's some of my ways, okay? Number one, talk to someone. Oh, Raluca, I just got this email and I can't believe it. We're not getting this thing I ordered. Amazon's not going to send it. The shipping's too much. We order some big things. But that's not one of the, but just I'm trying to give you an idea. And by speaking to her, she'll say, well, hey, why don't we just go to Walmart and get it? Speaking to people, they'll help you to make it more containable. Help you to quantify it and maybe give you alternatives. And it helps you to vent, okay? Sometimes people don't have to solve your problems. They just need to listen to you. That's another thing she's always telling me. When people complain to you and they're telling you this and telling you that, a lot of times they just want an ear. They want you to listen. They don't really need you to fix their problem, because I'm a problem fixer. Someone calls up and I got to jump right on it. She goes, no, you just have to listen to them. You ever have these people that'll hint to you, oh, I wish this and I wish that, but they won't ask you for help, That used to always bother me is, when someone will say, hey, hint, and I need this, and oh, I wish I could have this and that and that. And I'd say, I can do it. When I finally learned that just by listening to them, that's all they really need. It saved a lot of my time of going out and doing things I didn't have to do. So being an ear is a really good one. Here's another one that Raluca taught me is, let's say someone writes you an email, or it could be a regular mail, and it really bothers you. Now, being a business person, you might want to lambaste them. I mean, I just had one a couple days ago where the person wrote to me and lied through their teeth. They were negative and lie. And I just wanted to say, listen here, that's a lie. This is a lie. I caught you, but you can't do that. In business, you have to rise above it. So here's the idea. Write that letter. I think you're this and you're that, and really lambaste them as much as you want. And then you get it all ready, you read through it, you got it just the way you want it, and delete it. By writing the letter and getting out and venting, again, it's like talking to someone. You got it all in print. you're going to feel better. Because if you don't do anything, you're going to keep on thinking, I wish I'd written this. I wish I'd written that. I wish you really didn't want to write it, but people tend to work things through. I know I do. I work things through in my head. I could do this. I could do that. So do it on paper and then tear the paper up. Do it in an email and delete the email. That way, no negativity has been sent back. You don't have to worry about ramifications, but mentally, you feel better. You vented. So that's a great way to not bottle things up. Write an email, or a lot of people have journals. If you have a journal or a diary or whatever, write it in there. I don't like to have a journal because if I'm angry and I'm negative and I write this thing down and then delete it, I want it to be gone. I don't want to have a record of it to read a year from now. Can you believe I was going to say this? So, but a journal's another idea. Another great thing is to realize that you are not alone. Think of that. You're not alone. There's other people having probably a similar situation to what you are. You're not alone. So that helps to kind of make you feel better as well. I just lost my thing. Realizing you're not alone, that others, maybe many others, have gone through the same situation. It helps to, I guess, put it in perspective, Emails. You ever get these email scams? Okay, people trying to give you $1 million, or trying to do this, or trying to do that. I had one a while back where a company from Europe was going to pay me, I think it was $5,000 to fly to Florida and do a presentation for their soccer team. And now, luckily, I'm in Maine. I happened to be in Florida on that weekend because I was doing a live training down there. So it wasn't a problem. So I didn't buy a ticket, didn't do any of that stuff yet. And of course, I was supposed to, it kind of turned around to the point where they found a way for me to give them money, not directly, but indirectly. So anyways, when I finally found out it was a scam, it was like a few days before this was supposed to happen. I finally found out it was a scam. I was outraged, Then I got some emails from several of my students who got the same request, the same offer. One of them had even bought airline tickets to go. Okay. So, people had lost a lot of money, but I felt bad for that, but I didn't feel so bad myself that I was the only one being targeted. I felt like, they hooked me and got me, but it's, I guess, human nature. We want to help people who want to do things, and a lot of these scammers will take advantage of that, the niceness of you, the human nature, the heart that people have, and try to take advantage of that to exploit it for money. And that's kind of, in a nutshell, what was going on. So realizing that you're not alone. Ooh, here's a big one. And I like to tell this to people a lot, especially, when I'm doing training, is it's not about you. When someone complains or, gets on your case and you shouldn't this, and I think you're bad and you're this and you're that, it's not about you. When someone's pointing the finger at you, it's usually a reflection of themselves. If someone calls you dishonest, you're not dishonest. It's because they are, and they're trying to get over on you. It's their agenda. It's amazing how when people can't deal with their own problems, they have to point the finger at someone else and call them that. If somebody's really angry and they're mad at you, they're going to say, you're such an angry person. If someone's real hateful, they're going to call you a hateful person. So just think about it. You know who you are. These people that email you know nothing about you. Okay, your clients don't know anything about you except for your picture on your webpage and your advertisement. So when they start saying you're this and you're that and you're this, how could they know? Did they go out with you for a night on the town? They related to you? No, they're just somebody that read something they don't know. So it's a reflection of them. It's their own problem. They're reflecting on you. So just, brush it off, as they say, as a grain of salt, and realize it's not about you. They have issues. Okay, so that's, and once you realize that, a lot of these emails, you can get them. Now I get negative emails, people saying, oh, I want this and I want that, and you shouldn't have it. And I just kind of laugh because I know they're full of baloney. Okay, I know my products, I know my company, I know me. That's nothing about me. It's just a reflection of them. They're dishonest people trying to rip us off. So they're making out these accusations. It's all about them. So it's not about you. You know, another thing is important to just let it go. When something happens, okay, something negative, as you get one of these emails that's really bothering you, the sooner you can let it go and move on, the better. Imagine, having a barbecue, the old-fashioned barbecue with coals, those little pieces of chocolate briquette, and you have all these hot coals. And imagine taking one of those coals, which is the problem, and putting it in your hand. It burns, okay? So that's the problem. You keep it in your mind. It's kind of like you hanging on to a hot coal and walking around, okay? You want to get rid of that coal, because when you're upset because someone offended you, and you're upset, guess what? The other person doesn't know you're upset. Even in an argument, a family problem, they don't know you're upset. The only one that knows is you. So you're carrying this hot coal, whether it's revenge you're thinking about, whether it's just you're upset, I don't know what to do. The sooner you can let go of it, the sooner it's going to stop burning and you can start being happy. Similar situation, I was like, my creativity shot. I allowed other people to affect me, their agendas to come in, and I was carrying the hot coal until I realized it and I let go of it. Okay, so that can affect your creativity. How about objectifying it? Okay, if you can objectify what's bothering you by eliminating the emotion, see what it is. It is what it is. The problem is when you see a problem, okay, let's say, what's a problem? Someone gave you the wrong order at Dunkin' Donuts. Hold on a second. You got to have my French vanilla. Oh, actually, don't tell nobody. That's coconut I'm drinking for Lucas. And I know, okay, so somebody gave you the wrong coffee. Right now, she's over on the other side, okay, saying, oh, he got my coffee. The problem isn't they messed up with the order. The problem is she just, for those of you that can't see, she just wrote a note saying, you stole my coffee, LOL. The problem is the emotion you place on it, okay? So, you messed up my coffee. That's the 4th time this week they messed up my coffee. Or you went through drive-through. I got to go back in now. Why do you think I used the drive-through? I don't want to walk in there. And you're making such a deal out of it. And when you come in, they're standing there with a big smile saying, we're sorry. And they give it to you. And you're so upset. And what do? They give it to you. And what's right on it? Can you see that? They put a little heart on it, or they put a smiley face, or we're sorry. They've done that to me a few times. They'll actually write a note on it. So you're walking in, and you get this little heart, you realize the problem wasn't, okay, they messed up. Guess how many thousands of cup of coffee they do? I mean, I'll say, can I have 3 Splenda in there? And they'll go, 2 Splenda? No, 3 Splenda. No, 2 Splenda. They can't hear really good on those things. So get rid of the emotion. Let the emotion go away towards, the emotion you're placing on the problem, and you'll see it just as it is, okay? It's just the object. Ask for help. You have problems that are overwhelming, ask someone's advice. Ask them to help you. Hey, can you help me with this situation? Your boss piles on so many things you can do. Do you have a coworker that can help you to do them? Okay. So that's another idea. Oh, for those of you that have heard of T. Harv Eker, he's one of my favorite authors. What he says is when he has a problem, you need to be bigger than the problem. He looks at the problem and he looks down, he looks at it and he goes, mini, what is it? Mini me, something like that. It's a mini problem, okay? He's looking at the problem as let's say people, and he's this giant, and he gets so big, and his heads are going through the cloud, and now his head's above the cloud, and he's looking down at the problem. It's just a mini problem. It's kind of like, and you can see my forehead right now looking down at it. So the problem is so little. Rise above it. Make yourself bigger than the problem. Even if you use your imagination and just physically make yourself big. So think of it, I call that the mini-me. Another one, this is an old one, but an oldie but goodie. Okay, see the obstacle, see it as an obstacle and overcome it. Ooh, hold on, I'm going to read something. Warren Buffett once said, when in conflict, shut up now and speak later. Same with any negativity that comes your way. Instead of responding to it, very good. Instead of being a reactor, be an actor. Okay, so whenever you're conflicted with a problem or confronted with a problem or a conflict, shut up, don't say anything about it, and come to it later. That's what he does. Hey, he's one of the most successful people in the world. He must know something about that, right? So see your problem or the situation as an obstacle rather than a problem. An obstacle to be overcome. That's one thing that a lot of successful people do. Matter of fact, Harv Ekersbach speaks about that. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is successful people see a problem as an obstacle and they overcome it. Non-successful people see a problem as a problem and they can't get past it. So the way you look at it is very important. And of course, learn from it. What can you learn from a situation, from a challenge, from an obstacle, from a problem? What can you learn from it? Is there a moral to the story? I mean, it's hard to have something hit you right in the face saying, we're going to learn from it now. You might want to deal with it, but what can you learn from it? Because you can learn from anything, whether it be good or bad. So I guess if you wrap them all up together, bring it to the now, and deal with it, but in a positive way. Realize it's not about you. Think about it kind of like that snowball that somebody throws up the top of the mountain. If you don't do something about it, it's going to continue rolling. The more you focus on it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And first thing you know, this little snowball is a ball so big it's going to just run over you and your house and the whole city, okay, and trample it. So what are you focusing on? Focus on what you want rather than what you don't. And like I said, I gave you the list of a whole mess of different ones. Rather than going all through them, rewind. Gives me more video time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. Please, if you have any extra ideas or thoughts or things that you do, put them in the comments below so other people coming on and watching this video will have more ideas. I mean, I have a lot of great ideas. Yeah, thank you. But I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of ideas that I haven't thought about, and they can help me as well. So go ahead and write your comments down there. If you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up. That's what keeps us going. And leave me a comment and say hello. Why? Because I like to read your comments. And, oh, by the way, if you're interested in learning about hypnosis, we'll also have a link below this video talking about our hypnosis home study course and a link to our store where we have courses, oh geez, over 20 courses, tons of them, and manuals and t-shirts, really funny looking t-shirts, funny sayings, hypnosis related, and scripts and ice cream. Oh, no, not ice cream, but we have everything else. So go ahead and see the links below, and you all have a great day. Bye-bye now. And as always, I'm trying to find the way to turn off this video. This is the first time I've done a live one in a while. Hey, Raluca, do you know how to shut this thing off now? That's live. Hi, we're still here. There's got to be.
It's hidden somewhere.
It's usually hidden somewhere. Okay, if anyone's watching, this is the show after the show. Send feedback? No.
No.
Cancel. That's not it.
Maybe here.
Let's see. There's probably something else in here. Is there another?
Right here, maybe?
No, that says live.
Minimize the page.
Oh, there it is. You have to Do you realize that they put the end stream button off the page? So I minimize it, and there it is, end stream. So have a great day. Bye-bye.